enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded room, and fly to her.
Hey guys, and welcome to the 51st episode of Let Your Voice Soar. First of all, I want to apologize for being away from these tutorials for so long. For the last 14 or 15 months, I've gone through a really challenging time in my life. I went through a divorce. We sold our house. I moved to another town, had to find a place where I could teach and set up the new voice soaring studios, and I found a beautiful place here in Montclair, New Jersey, and this is where I teach, and this is where all the online lessons are happening. I'm still teaching in New York City, but going through a divorce, going through all of those massive changes in my life was very, very challenging, and the only thing I really had time for was teaching and doing my everyday work, but it wasn't making videos, because making videos is something that you have to be really emotionally ready for. And as you can imagine, going through a divorce, it requires a lot of time to get through the emotional part of it. So now, almost 15 months later, I'm so much better. I'm on the other side of things. I have this wonderful studio here. By the way, last year was my busiest year at Voice Soaring Studios in the 28 years I've been teaching. So I didn't expect to be as busy as I was, but I'm so grateful that I was, and thankful for all the students that stuck with me through this very challenging time in my life. And I got so many new students over the last year, so a lot of wonderful things came out of this time, but making videos, as I told you, was very difficult for me. So I'm back with episode 51, teaching the Baritone Singer. Before we get started with the tutorial, I want to give a big shout out to my friends at Superior Vocal Health, David Aaron Katz and Jen Allen Schwartz. They invited me to come to the NAMM show this year in Anaheim, California, and I got to represent Superior Vocal Health along with two amazing vocal coaches, Ryan Wall and my good friend, Jamie Vendera. Now, Jamie and I have been friends for over 15 years, and this was the first time I got to meet him in person. So he and Ryan and I got to teach voice lessons as a gift for people who came by and tried the products. So, you know, I can't get through a day without using, like, as I said, one of their products. I mean, like, Sinus Cleanse is amazing. This stuff is going to clean your sinuses out like nothing else. They have a new product called Divine Sleep. I've been taking this quite a bit. This will really give you a beautiful night's sleep without any side effects or any grogginess the next day. Vocal Rescue is another product I can't live without, because this time of year, with the weather being like it is here in the Northeast, we are right in the middle of a blizzard right now, and that can cause a lot of issues with sinus drainage and coughing and sneezing. So this stuff will really clear up your voice. And then my all-time favorite is Throat Saver. This is magic. I use this stuff all the time. In fact, when I was at NAMM, I was walking around the whole convention area. I was walking around letting people try samples of Throat Saver, and they were blown away by how quickly it made their voice feel so much better, so much clearer. So if you want to try any of the products of Superior Vocal Health, use Stanfill in the checkout code for 10% off. Now let's head over to the studio with the amazing baritone, Bradley Ritschel. Today, after many years of requests from viewers to do a baritone tutorial, today we're doing a baritone tutorial. And in the house today is an amazing former student of mine who is actually a bass baritone, Bradley Ritschel. So ladies and gentlemen, Bradley Ritschel.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. Great to be here.
Thank you, Brad. So you want to tell the viewers a little about yourself and how we met?
I was part of the Whip Tones with Matt all those years ago back in high school. Doo-wop quartet, was singing bass, and started studying with you. Finally went to college at UT Dallas, and you referred me to study with Jared Schwartz, who's an opera bass singer in Dallas and a very good teacher. Right. So I studied with him all throughout college, performing in some operas at the university. Actually doing my degree in engineering, though, and now all these years later, finally getting back into singing again.
You went to UT Dallas, and then you got this big scholarship for engineering, but they gave you the opportunity to take voice lessons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that worked?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get a full scholarship to UT Dallas, and also they agreed to pay for my voice lessons with Jared all the while I was studying at UT Dallas. So in addition to those lessons, performed in some of the operas, including playing Figaro in The Marriage of Figaro my freshman year. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, kept singing all these years, but didn't really seriously get back into it until after COVID. And now I'll be going to Southern Methodist University in the fall to get a performer's diploma as a graduate degree. So I'll be there for 2 years. And I also have an upcoming show with the Dallas Opera playing the Big Bad Wolf in their family performance. So
That's
some
amazing.
exciting stuff coming up.
That's amazing. I always tell everyone that Brad has had a charmed life. You've had so many great things happen to you, but you took a little break from singing for a while, right?
Yeah, during COVID, I mainly just traveled and also worked my engineering job for a couple of years. Didn't really sing very much, but luckily had a nice push from you and Jared and some other people as well, telling me to get back into it. So here I am.
Brad was featured in my Let Your Voice Soar instructional program, and he, along with 2 other singers, have gone on to do really amazing things. One is Senya Khan, who is now with Tiny Habits, touring all over the world. And the other is Andrew Redlowsk, who has been singing Frankie Valli in a show on cruise ships. So it's really cool that my students that were part of this amazing instructional program have gone on to do big things. So today we're going to be working on vocal exercises for bass baritone voice. Now, your voice is still developing because you're still not sure whether you're going to go baritone or full bass baritone. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So what would you say some of the challenges that you have as a singer are?
Definitely as a lower voice, maintaining support in the upper register is super important. It's something I've always struggled with. So strengthening the abdominal muscles.
Right.
Learning how to maintain support of the rib cage from collapsing down on the voice in the upper register as well.
Ideally, you would want your hand right here at your sternum. You're going to press there, but since we have a lot of mics on, we're going to keep them here. And the other hand is going to go on the lower abdominals, and we're going to do this little shh, 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 shh. So you should be able to see his hand is actually moving when he's doing that. So if you don't have any movement in your lower abdominals, you're not actually using them correctly. If you ever watch a baby cry, they usually go, wah, 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 wah. And that's how we want to be able to use our lower abdominals for sound. Wah, wah, wah. Right. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
So that's exactly how we use our abdominals to support the diaphragm when we're a baby. And along the way, something happens and we stop using that support. The next thing I want you to do is just to do a sigh from the top down. It doesn't have to be very high. We're just going to go sigh.
Sigh.
Okay, good, 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 good. Try that again and see if you can open it up just a little bit more.
Sigh.
Right, so you're doing it in more of a falsetto. Can you do it more just in your natural sound?
Sigh.
There we go. That's a great way to start your sound. You know, one of the things about a baritone voice, which is different from a tenor voice, is the baritone voice is much more chest voice dominant. So generally for baritones, the main part of the voice is going to be around low C to around E. That's going to be your main bread and butter part of your sound. Now baritones do need an extension above E, F, and G. My teacher, Maestro David Jones, when he's demonstrating exercises, he can sing right up to B flat, B, and C. And I had a teacher in college who was able to sing a high C. He was a bass baritone. He was able to sing a high C. So I'm a big believer in extending the sound and making sure that you're covering all the bases. But the main part of the voice is C to E and then on down, of course. Okay? So we're going to start on a very, very simple exercise today. We're going to start on bub, 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 bub.
Bub, 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 bub. Bub, 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 bub. Bub, 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 bub. Bub, 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 bub.
Great. That's a great way to go down first. Now, we're not trying to go super low yet, but when I was working with you, you had a really great low D. In fact, that low D got you a lot of opportunities, right?
That's right.
Are you still able to, we did this the other day in the lesson, were you able to maintain your low D after that?
It's still kind of there, but I think over the years, my register has kind of shifted up a little bit as I've matured. And I think also back then I had a lot of tongue tension and just kind of stuff, all kind of jamming it down to reach those low notes for what I did in the quartet.
Right. For a bass baritone, a low D is not necessary. But it is good, like I said, to extend the range. Okay, so let's add on to that. So let's go ba 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 ba.
Ba 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 ba.
Nice.
Ba 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 ba.
Right. Something that my teacher tells me a lot is to make sure that we're breathing flat into the abdominals. Now, the cool thing, his teacher now, Jared Schwartz, and I both study with David Jones. So that was a really cool connection that you were able to go to University of Dallas and go from the technique that I teach directly to Jared Schwartz, who teaches a very similar technique because we both work with the same teacher. I would like if you can put your hands here and see if you can breathe a little flat. I just kind of saw your belly extend a little bit. I want to make sure that when you're breathing, that you're breathing flat into your abs, and this will open up your back rib cage, and then you should be able to feel that support a little bit more, okay? So now we're going to do a little staccato exercise. Nice, such a beautiful sound. Love that sound. Great, great. Nice. Great. Bass baritones have their passagio just a little bit lower than a lighter baritone. Great. So when you get to the C, Brad, can you make sure that you don't drive it? So because you have this gorgeous sound and it's really working beautifully. Jared's done such a great job with your voice. Every time I hear Brad and anything that he sent me, I'm just amazed at the sound, because when I first heard you when you were 14, I'm like, that's going to be an incredible voice. So now you're going out to SMU and you're going to be doing opera, and who knows what's going to happen. You guys should definitely follow him. See if you can go to the C without driving, okay? Much better. Very good. So does Jared talk about opening the soft palate wide for high notes?
Yeah, definitely getting all that resonance in the pharynx.
Great. So something that I like to use is using the thumbs to stretch the space virtually. And this is just giving your brain an image that the space is supposed to stretch wide. Because we're not trying to open too wide back there, because as this voice goes through the passagio, it is going to narrow out. But the great tenor Luciano Pavarotti said that sometimes in his passagio, he felt like he was being strangled. So let's do this again, and we're going to go, okay? Nice.
Ha 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 ha.
Great.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
We're going to be doing a song in a few minutes, which is Some Enchanted Evening from South Pacific, and the high note in that song is an E. Now, we haven't gotten to E yet, but let's do the 2-octave coperto. Ready? That was great. Keep your hands right here on your abs just to make sure that you're feeling that support all the way up, okay?
I also do it full voice sometimes, just kind of a squeal up to there and slide back down.
Okay. Let's go back down to A flat, okay? So I really wouldn't recommend doing that. If that's something you're doing, because I'd love for this kind of things to happen in a tutorial, because basically that's a squeeze. So the concept of the coperto, which I'm going to be doing a full tutorial on, is really amazing if it's done correctly. I always tell people it's just like going to the gym. If you do exercises in the gym incorrectly, you're going to hurt yourself. If you do vocal exercises with wrong form, you're very likely to hurt yourself. So remember, the coperto is based on a word in Italian, copertura, which means blanket or to cover. So basically, we're taking the ah vowel and covering it with oo lips. When you use the oo, this is too low for me, so I'm going to do it in my range. Ah, ooh. When I do that, when I find that oo position for my lips, I don't feel anything in the throat. And my chords get to come together much more firmly, and therefore, you will start to build a fuller sound. Okay, can we go back there? Remember, ah in the throat space, oo in the lips. Great. Did that feel a little better? Very good. Nice. How'd that feel?
Good, yeah, nice and smooth over the bridge.
How high do you take it?
Maybe like a B flat.
That was B flat.
Okay.
Can we go just one more?
Sure.
Stretch it out. That exercise is so amazing for all voices. Now, the female version, which I'm going to be presenting in the tutorial that's coming out, is a little bit different. But for male voices, that version is great. What do you think the coperto has done for your voice?
It's definitely smoothed over the bridge in my upper passagio and made it easier to find the transition for me around B flat.
Right. Good. All right, so this exercise, I don't think we've done this one. This is just ba baby bo boo bo ba baby. Can you remember that sequence? Okay, so we're gonna go ba 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 baby bo boo bo ba baby.
Ba 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 baby bo boo bo ba baby.
Nice.
Ba 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 baby bo boo bo ba baby. Ba 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 baby bo boo bo ba baby. Ba 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 baby bo boo bo ba baby.
Let's go back down to B flat. Can you put a little more ba in the first ba ba ba? Now I'm not a baritone, so it's very difficult for me to demonstrate down there. At one point in my studio, I think I had 4 or 5 bass baritones, including you, and I went in for a voice lesson a few months after I've been teaching these guys, and my teacher was like, something's going on with your voice. Sounds a little heavy. And I was trying to demonstrate down there with my bass baritone. So just for you teachers that are teaching this, make sure that you're not overstretching your own range to try to demonstrate. So because you're so intelligent, you know how to do this. So just add a little more buh, okay?
Ba 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 ba
Ba baby bo
Yeah.
boo.
ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
Yeah, I do see this sticking out a little bit. You know, mine naturally sticks out. If you look at a picture of me when I'm a baby, I had a naturally like big stomach, so I had to work on keeping this really flat because when this is distended, it's actually not good for your posture. It's pulling your pelvis in the wrong direction. Now, of course, you don't want to keep this tight, but just keeping it firm, and then when you breathe into it, that's gonna open your back rib cage a little bit more. See, that made you yawn talking about it, right? Okay. Really relax here, but just make sure you have no neck tension too. So if you want to move your head side to side while you're doing this.
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
Great.
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
Now your voice is really opening up.
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
So a little more in your buh. So I would start at the bottom buh.
Okay.
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
Great. Interesting. I saw you on the E. Kind of park your head for just a moment. So you only have to do one little tiny movement. If you take your finger like this, ba 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 baby, ba 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 baby. So it doesn't need to be a big movement with your head. Now I know you had a little challenge with your neck, right? You had a
Not so little challenge.
not so little challenge. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, my freshman year, I had to get my C1, C2 vertebrae fused due to a condition I was born with. So that really limited my my flexibility for the rest of my life
mobility
and tightened up all the muscles in my neck.
Right.
But I've done a lot of physical therapy, and I'm very lucky I have no pain all these years later, and
Right.
pretty much my neck and vocal function is what it was, but I can only turn my head half as far now that I've done the surgery.
Right. So that's why, you know, you always want to check in with your students, for you vocal coaches out there. Check in with your students. Make sure that they don't have any neck issues that can prevent them from moving their head full range of motion. So I always check with my students before they start studying with me if you had any sort of surgeries or limitations that are going to prevent you from doing certain things, because you don't want to push them past their comfort zone, right? Okay, so let's do this again. Use your finger like this and just let it be follow your finger like that, okay?
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby. Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
Good. Let your head move just a little bit with your finger.
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
That was so great. That high note came out so easily.
Ba 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 baby bo 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 ba baby.
Nice. How'd that feel?
Good, yeah, feels good.
I think this distracts you a little bit too, just having a little movement, you know, because I'm all about hand movements, hand motions to distract you from, you know, any sort of tension.
Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, and make her your own, or all through your life you may dream all alone. Never let her go.
Wow. How'd that feel?
Great, yeah.
Great. Let's try it in an open position.
So what exactly do you mean by open?
Yeah, closed and open. Basically, if we do in a closed position, go, you're adding a little bit more of that feeling. And that's a really safe position for a baritone, is to keep it in that little bit more feeling there. But to open it up, it might give it a little bit more sound. But we'll see what happens with your voice. So open is go instead of go. Okay?
Kind of like more of a chesty belt.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Never let her go.
Well, both of those were so good. So I think it will give you an option, and I think that's something that maybe you can work on with the teacher is to try different sounds up there, either in a closed position or an open position. Now, of course, it depends on the vowel. We have never let her go. So, and the word, I use this exercise, go, 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 go. Have we did that before? Did we work on that a little bit? Yeah, so if you just go, 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 that's more of a closed position. If I go, 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 you hear that more open sound? It's more of a belty feeling.
Definitely.
Let's try that one more time. Where you go, okay? Once you have found her.
Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
That's your open position, yeah? I really like that. Can we go back and do the closed just to see the difference?
Sure.
Okay? Just from never.
Never let her go.
Yeah, and see, to me, the closed position sounds a little bit more operatic.
Yeah.
But they both sound really great in his voice. That's an awesome high note for you.
Thanks, Jeff.
I mean, it's not that high, it's a C, but it is like a classical baritone note.
Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, you may hear her laughing. Someone may be laughing across a crowded room, and night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own, or all through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
soar.